Thank you everyone for your presentation and all the hard work till now. Good evening to sir and everyone. Now I'm going to present today, and before that I have to share the screen. I'm sharing the screen. Today I'm going to present on National Population Policy of Nepal, which is adopted in 2014. According to BS, it is 2071. And all the information whichever I have incorporated in this presentation are mostly taken from this policy. Now I want to proceed the presentation. Before entering in the main content of this presentation, I want to mention some of the background of population policy formulation in Nepal. For any policy there is need of data, and as an initiation of that in Nepal, for the first time in 1911, that is in BS 1968, first census was held. After that, in every 10 years, censuses have been conducted to collect data about population. These are the policies which are directly related with the population and its regulation. When 7th plan, periodic plan was adopted, then population was linked with economic development. And we are well aware about this, that the population should be linked with development. It is not only like priority of Nepal, it is priority of world. Past few weeks we discussed about how population policy in international context was developed, from Rome Conference to ICPD of 1994, and later some other special events. So it is very important to link population and development, and Nepal initiated this in 7th periodic plan. After that, 8th periodic plan accepted that population as a sectoral policy. It should be identified as a sector to create a policy. After that, 9th plan presented 20-year long-term health plan, which I just mentioned earlier. When Nepal entered in the peace process after a decade-long Maoist insurgency, and there were short-term plans like 3-year plans, interim in nature. The focus was in small and quality family, similarly poverty reduction. As you are aware that ICPD had appealed countries to make policies, population policies. To pursue that line, Nepal government created a separate ministry, Ministry of Population and Environment, which converted into later on Ministry of Population, Health and Population, which still exists. It was an effort to make population policy as a priority area of Nepal government. Similarly, here is another institutional arrangement, namely Population Committee under chairmanship of Prime Minister. Current constitution, which was promulgated in 2015, and since then it is in effect, has incorporated certain population and development related criteria, and among them one is linking demographic data with development. Population keeps on changing, development need also keep unchanging. Because of that, it is necessary to connect demography and population. I mean, the Constitution has this kind of provision. Similarly, in my personal view also, this human resource is very important factor, because if we consider population, we should not consider it as just a population, because it is human resource also. If we like educate and train population properly, that turns out to be human resource, which is a great asset for a country, which is recognized by the current constitution. Similarly, it has also mentioned that life expectancy of Nepalese people should be increased, and the main way of doing that is minimizing maternal and infant mortality. And similarly, it has also mentioned that the policy of population of Nepal should be according to the need of country broadly. After that, as I mentioned earlier, I have taken some data, but I have a little bit of work on visualization part. Here we can see TFR change in Nepal. This one single line is very enough in my view to tell that how Nepal's population in its components are changing. For example, in 1991, we had total fertility rate of 5.8, and after 2 decades and some years, it came on 2.3. Actually, it is produced in 2014. That's why I have incorporated data up to there only. Later on, after 2 years, DHS report was also published. Actually, I have not incorporated that data because of to incorporate both data in one table is a bit not logical since methodologies are different. But basically, we can see the changing trend from here. Similarly, another important factor is population growth rate, and here we can see in 1991 it was 2.08. In 2001 it became 2.25, in 2011 1.35, and so was in 2014. So we can see some trends from this policy document here. Similarly, I have taken another component, that is infant mortality rate, which is considered in per thousand live birth. And in 1990 we can see that it was 107. In 1996, actually 1991 that is, in 1996 we can see 79. Similarly in 2001 we can see 64. 2006 it is 48, and similarly it is 46, and 2014 it has reached up to 33. So this is another changing trend of population, and in population IMR, which is considered as one of the very important population dynamics, because when there is low IMR, then it is considered as the crude death rate or overall death rate also decreases. So it is very important. Similarly, another we can see here the average age, that is life expectancy, how it is changed from 1991 to 2014. In 1991 it was 50.3, in 2001 it was 60.4, in 2011 it was 66.6, and in 2014 it is 68.8. Now, according to Human Development Report of UNDP, Nepal is well around 70. So it has improved after that also. It has demanded effective National Population Council, which works for policy coordination, formulation and everything in coordinated way. Similarly, there is provision of mechanism for monitoring and coordination of population programs. Similarly, there is provision for arrangement of efficient operation and avoiding duplication of programs. Being a development worker, we also feel that sometimes there are duplication of programs. That's why it should be avoided. It also discusses about data's use for policy and projection purpose. It's very interesting because how population grow in future, that should be taken in consideration, and accordingly development plan and health services should be extended. Is main point is that. Another is data based feedback system. I just mentioned this, that's why I don't want to go here point wise, but it basically says that data should be collected in quality way, and they should be used for the development as well as population's benefit, not only present but also in future. Similarly, it discusses about population fund and everything. Next is population impact assessment before implementing program. I have actually discussed about this, that's why I don't want to go about this also in much detail. And about demographic dividend, we are aware we are in the middle of this process, and youth should be the main focus here. Opportunities should be created for them, and those sectors should be prioritized which create employment for youth. This is the main goal of this paper, and it talks about like different schemes like loan and everything for this also. Now it has discussed about institutional arrangement, that is National Population Council in chairmanship of Prime Minister. There are other ministers and other different like institutions heads in this council. Similarly, there is, as I mentioned earlier, one separate ministry was established in Nepal after ICPD 1994. Now that is Ministry of Health and Population. Population is here, and it is the main body of implementing policy, and it is supported by a department. Similarly, for each policy areas, as I presented earlier, there are different institutions which are responsible as a measure and supportive role. In some policy they are measure, and some policy they are supportive role. Now I want to mention some challenges. What kind of challenges we are facing or we may face during this implementation of this policy? Actually, I have taken these challenges also mostly from this policy paper only. Lack of financial and human resource, this is obvious because we have certain limitation in this regard. Similarly, cooperation between institutions is challenging because there are different like ministries involved, and similarly different other like government and non-government semi-autonomous type of institutions are also involved. Sometimes the coordination or cooperation may be a bit difficult. Similarly, population programs are not internalized yet. I mean, how important it is? There is a question like that. Similarly, backwardness in economic development and education is also challenged, because to implement any policy effectively, there should be economic strength as well as there should be education's backup, which we lack still. But though we are improving, there is like challenge to some extent. Similarly, human resource, dearth of human resource. Similarly, child marriage, high fertility and birth spacing are still in consideration in certain areas, including geographical area. There are certain section of people who have like certain issues in this area. That's why this is also another area of challenge. Similarly, rapid urbanization we are seeing in recent decades, which is also considered as challenge.